Hi, epic INFJs. Today we're talking about what nobody expects of the INFJ. You've been in this situation where you have conversations with others and you sort of feel like you could say something or you could do something and nobody around you believes that. They feel like, yeah, you're just full of it, you're just talking so much, but you know that if it came down to it, you would actually take the action. You know about the comeback you could actually say towards the other person that is mean towards you, but you don't want to do it because you don't want to hurt their feelings. You know that if you had to, you would do the extraordinary thing like moving to another city, quitting your job, starting your own business. You know that you have these things in you. And others are questioning and others are saying, okay, but you're just like talking about it. It's not real. But the truth is, it is real. And this is how you actually change that behavior, because there are people who honestly don't think they could do it, who honestly don't even question it. There's no way in their mind that they would step out of the norm, because the psychological pain that comes with that is just too big. But guess what? That's where our mental toughness comes in. That's what we're going to talk about today in detail. Remember, before we get started, to download the poster to the 5 pillars to an INFJ epic life. And if you say, I'm ready for the next step, then join the INFJ Epic Life Bootcamp waiting list. We're starting in the beginning of April, so make sure you're on that list so you get access to the early bird price and you don't miss when we go live. All the information you find in the link in the description. In the last video where we talked about the INFJ's constant struggle, we really determined that the INFJ has a mental toughness to them. And that's just the way we're built up. We probably are not the ones who can stand out in the cold the longest, right? Other sensors are probably better at that. Like, they can stand it. I'm not saying we're going to die quicker or, when we're in the cold, but it's a real big discomfort for us. But the mental toughness aspect, we as INFJs are one of the types who can stand it the most. Because although in a lot of ways we also have a need for social inclusion, which is a completely human, need, which is just general to everybody, there are people who need it more and there are people who need it less. And we as INFJs are known to be, esoteric and creative creatures and all of that, because in so many ways we actually show up like that in the real world as well towards other people, although it's not the norm. When other types wouldn't even question that, they wouldn't even try it out because it's just so foreign to them to do something which might jeopardize their social inclusion, right? So how are we going to use this mental toughness to create the INFJ epic life? How are we going to use it to make your dreams come true? And it really comes down to doing those things that other people don't expect of you. So think of all of those things where you feel like, oh, you could do that, but the reaction would be really big. See, I'm not saying aim for the things that people are not expecting, because then of course we're looking to the outside, we're looking towards others to base our decisions on. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you have a thought of, I could do this if I wanted to, it's just really tough, that's why I don't want to, question those things again. Because there's a reason why you have this in your thought. Because yes, this step might be tough on you. It might really get you to a place where you have to really be resilient, where you have to put all your energy into it. But guess what? You can still do it when other people probably could not. And that is what we have to be aware of. We as INFJs have to do the things that we can do, although they're difficult, although they seem like I have to overcome limiting beliefs, I have to overcome this fear of social inclusion, I'm going to get abandoned, like psychologically speaking, if I step out of the norm. And I know exactly how that feels like, because I had to go through that emotion. For me, it was really that I was pushed against the corner. I don't know if I would have had the strength or the motivation to really pull through if I just got it intellectually. For me, it really was, I don't have another choice. The life I have built for myself so far has just like really ruined me psychologically. I had no strength. I had no sense of self. I felt completely lost, completely undervalued, and I felt like my potential is just going down the drain. So I had to step out. That's when I started this channel. That's when I started writing my book. Like all of these things happened all together, and for the first time I showed up in a completely different way. It's not that my friends know everything that I'm doing. It's not that I talk about it all the time, but I wasn't hiding it anymore. I wasn't hiding the way I was thinking, the deep thoughts I was having, because up until that point, my biggest concern was if people around me would see that, they would get completely annoyed by me. They would get turned off. They would feel like, okay, I'm weird, and get out of my way. And you know what happened? Exactly that. It's not that I will tell you, do your thing, use your mental toughness, and then people are going to look at you and say, oh, you were right all along, and I like you the way you are. Because if you feel like there is this part of you that you need to hide, then you're subconsciously going to surround yourself with people who also believe that. So once you start your transformational journey and you actually do the things that people don't expect you to do, step out of the norm, actually do your own thing, not feel like you have to play by the rules in order to fit in. A very easy example here is that you're at a job which gives you some kind of self-confidence, at least like, let's say, the people around you, and you're forced to do things you don't want to do. A lot of people will obey. A lot of people will fall into peer pressure and feel like they would have to work a lot. Most INFJs will get to a place where they say, no, that's not me, because you're mentally strong enough to go against the herd. And that's where magic happens. That's when you do things that nobody expects of you, and that's when you actually create that life that you're looking for. Doing those things that probably others couldn't do. But you have to take those steps. It's not enough to just know in your mind, I know I could do that. You have to take those steps. And trust me, it's not about the result. It's about how you feel because you take that step. Because once you start taking those steps, once you start the extraordinary thing, once you say, I aim for this amazing job opportunity, I aim to create a new life in a new city, I aim to start my transformational journey online, and it's not just a thought, it's actually putting it into action. It's making those things happen and seeing how far your mental toughness can take you. This mental toughness is your superpower. As long as you're not using it, and as long as you're not really applying it to situations where most people couldn't handle it, right? It's not going to make a big difference. I mean, imagine, let's say you would be a world star soccer player. If you are not playing soccer, nobody would know your talent. But, let's forget about others. You wouldn't know your talent. You wouldn't know what you were able to do. You couldn't find out. You couldn't strengthen it. You couldn't actually pursue this amazing journey of yours and see what you're capable of. And that is where the biggest fun is at. Seeing what you can do out of your life, seeing how far you can take it with your gifts on your terms in the way you want to see the world. It's not about playing the game to sort of feel safe, where everybody's just pretending to be something, or you don't do anything that makes you stand out in a weird way because then you're going to be ostracized. Nothing like that. You have the mental toughness to stand on your own. You have the mental toughness to do something extraordinary. Those are the things people are not expecting, because people see the world the way they are. And they very often don't think you can do it because they couldn't do it. So that's why you continuously get in situations with people where you wonder, why are they testing me? Why do they feel like they can push me so far? They do that because in their mind, there's no way you could actually step out and say, I don't need your social approval. I don't need to be part of this. I'm going to do my own thing, and it's going to be better than anything that could happen if I just obey by everybody else's rules. And other people very often don't expect this, because for them, it's not even an option to step out of the norm, to do something that uncomfortable. How I wouldn't expect somebody to stand in the freezing cold for 15 hours in order to, do Ironman or something like this. Like, I'm not like this. There's no way I would ever go for this, or I would go ice swimming. Those are not things that I would want. I know in the end it is also about mental toughness. This isn't just like a physical thing, but just bear with me for this example. I'm not thinking in that direction. So people are also not thinking that you're going to be willing to do the thing that most people are not willing to do because it's just too tough on them psychologically. But that's where your superpower is at. That is the thing that's going to make a difference in your life. So use that. Step out of the norm. Make something happen in your life that people don't expect of you and see how far you can take it. Make that like the journey of your life, to see how far your superpower is going to be able to take you from a place where everybody is playing by the rules that seemingly have to happen in order to be socially included, to a place where you create a world that is based on how you feel about it, how you want it to be. And once you start taking those steps, once you start voicing what you're all about, because remember, we as INFJs have FE as our second function. It's our creative function. This is all about expressing yourself. This is not about creating harmony. You can create harmony, but in the end, it's about making people feel something. And you have the power to make them feel that it's possible to be authentically you, to be able to live out everything that you want and still feel great about it. Something that most people need to be given permission to, that they don't feel like they have the right to or the possibility to. And that is what people don't expect of you. These are the things that are going to make people look at you twice and say, oh, okay, I didn't expect that. See, when I started all of this, for the first time, my friends told me, yeah, you are different. And I mean, those are friends that I've had for, 10, 15 years. So they've known me pretty much all my life at that point. And still, now was the time when they said, yeah, you're really a little bit different than everybody else. When all my life up until then, I was telling them I'm different, I see the world differently, but they didn't believe me because my actions didn't reflect that. My actions reflected, yeah, I'm living like everybody else. And of course, people can't look into your mind. They can't look into your mind and recognize, oh, you actually have the capacity to really make that happen. And it's never going to be enough to just being able to do it. You have to take those steps. You have to make it happen in the real world. You have to do the extraordinary thing. And then people are going to see, yeah, really, it wasn't just something that they were talking about. They're really about that. And so this mental toughness will take you places you could never imagine. That does not mean that you have to work 24/7. That does not mean that you have to discipline yourself all the time. Remember, we're INFJs. We don't have to do all the things. We just have to do the right things. Do the things that you can, from which you know other people will stay back from, because it's just too psychologically difficult for them. You got this. Use this power, create your life, and before you know it, you actually feel like you're living that INFJ epic life. Remember, if you haven't done this so far, to download the poster on the 5 pillars to an INFJ epic life. It will definitely help you to push yourself forward in those directions that will make a difference. And if you say, okay, I'm ready for a community that will really motivate me, that can, uncover so many things that are going on, and it's really going to push me. And we have our intense group sessions where we really dig deeper into all of those pillars in the bootcamp. So join the waiting list, all the information you find below. And if you want to watch another video now that is in alignment with today's topic, then watch the video, How the INFJ Shocks Everyone.